Today I'm visiting Yemen, the Middle East's poorest country. It's currently stuck in a brutal civil war between the Houthi rebels backed by Iran and the government of Yemen backed by Saudi and the West.
Yemen is in the midst of the world's worst humanitarian crisis.
Only one plucky band of Muslim militants are sticking it to the Israeli-US man.
With over 250,000 lives already lost, Yemen also lies next to the most important waterway in the world, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, where a decent chunk of the world's trade passes through. This makes it prime real estate for the Houthi rebels to disrupt, with the goal of hitting Israel and the US. But what really shocked me is not the conflict, it's how naturally beautiful Yemen is. With the ongoing security situation keeping tourists away, I had the whole place to myself, and getting there was hard enough. I had to pass a HIV test, hepatitis test just to get the visa. I want to find out why Yemen is so broken and why the countries I visit with some of the nicest people I've met get labelled as bad places. So I arranged a road trip starting in Seiyun and ending in the port city of Al-Mukalla to find out what the real Yemen is like.
I'm about to fly to Yemen.
It's very hard to actually travel to this country. As far as I'm aware, there's only flights from Cairo. So we're here in Cairo airport and we're flying to South Yemen. I'm not allowed to visit North Yemen, completely off limits because it's Houthi rebel controlled right now. South, 50-50. It's time to find out what the real Yemen is like. Yalla.
My first time flying with Yemen Air. Like, flights were like $1,000 return. It's like the only airline that I can get. The only flight I can get into Yemen with this airline from this airport.
What's the number one thing I should do in Yemen?
You have to try the food.
Salta?
Salta and mandi.
Mandi. Yalla bina.
Yalla bina.
So we're just passing through the Red Sea, the Suez Canal. This is where 12% of global trade comes through this area right here. The Red Sea and the Suez Canal has a big influence over the geopolitics of Yemen. It's very important because of the trade that goes through here. I arrived in Yemen and met two locals, Jamal and Abdul, who are going to take me deep inside this fascinating country. I immediately noticed a lot of people carrying guns and there was a strange feeling in the air. So we stopped off at a local gun market to find out how much these weapons cost and just what fuels the need for this sort of weaponry for civilians. We've made it to the gun market of Yemen. You would think that one of these markets would be kind of closed off, but it's very open. You can see, you just got like the road here, Central Road, and then we've got lots of markets selling army gear, knives, maybe some guns. Let's have a look. Assalamu alaikum. Kif halak? Oh wow. What type of gun? Kalashnikov? So it's like $1,000 for these. It's quite expensive, you know, for the average person to buy a gun, to keep them safe. And a lot of people have guns here. I'd say like 30-40% of the people are always carrying a gun wherever they go. The army gear here. You can even dress up as military. Oh wow, rocket launcher. RPG. أنا من بريطانيا.
بريطانيا.
Are you welcome? Britannia la guns. La guns. No guns.
Are you welcome?
They're getting me a gift. Well, that's so kind of it. Whoa.
Oh, it's fantastic.
How much?
Huh?
How much?
لا no.
Really?
No.
They're giving me a necklace.
هدية هذا هدية.
That's a gift.
In Egypt, they do it like this, and then they say, okay, $30.
That's a gift.
That's so kind.
أيوة.
Wow.
Bum.
Bomb? I want a bomb? La.
I want a bomb.
La.
No.
I mean, actually, why not? Yalla.
This is fantastic.
How much?
Beautiful.
How much for bomb?
Boom.
How much for bomb?
Cheap. $200.
$200. It's so beautiful. This would probably cost quite a lot. Yemeni. Now I have this.
نفس ده. أيوة هذا قلب.
أيوة. السلام عليكم. كيف حالك؟ الحمد لله. How are you?
Slowly. How are you?
How are you?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
مع السلامة.
Assalamu alaikum.
Goodbye مع السلامة.
Say, I love Yemen.
أيوة بحب اليمن.
I love Turkey.
I love تركيا.
Mesh Turkey.
I love بريطانيا.
Britannia.
أيوة. قول I love بريطانيا.
I love Britannia.
أيوة.
I was already feeling energized by the hospitality in Yemen, and I started the long journey to the coast of Al Mukalla. Our first stop was the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Shibam, which was one of the most unique places I've ever visited. Welcome to Shibam. This is called the Manhattan of the Middle East, the Manhattan of Yemen, because of the skyscrapers. These are the first skyscrapers in the world. You can see these tall buildings dating back 500 years to the 16th century. We've got a game of dominoes going on here. Looks very competitive. So Shibam, as you can see, is actually pretty quiet. This is the most lively part of Shibam. So this is a Yemeni's way of sitting. I have no idea how he's going to do it. Oh, this is actually one of the best inventions I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm going to put a patent on this. This is going on like Shark Tank because this is incredible. I'm so comfortable right now, I could sit here for hours. What's the biggest challenge in Yemen right now for the people?
Living, cost of living.
Cost of living.
That's what people are complaining from. Living is getting very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, even our currency is not that stable. If you want to buy something, you don't buy it in Yemeni. You buy in Saudi riyal.
In which?
Saudi riyal.
Oh, really?
If you want to buy a car or anything, you don't buy with Yemeni.
Wow. Whilst walking around Shibam, I couldn't help but notice there were no women on the streets, and Yemen is statistically the worst place in the world to be a woman. So of course I wanted to speak to some women and find out if this was really true. We've met the lovely ladies of Yemen. How is life in Yemen?
اليمن حلوة. داخل تعز جنة.
Are they married?
صنعاء.
Sharafna. Yes? All married? Can you ask them if they can find me a nice Yemeni wife? She's married.
She'll get divorced for you.
Sorry? She'll get divorced for me? Oh, yalla. Can you ask them how do they feel as a woman in Yemen? Is it hard life?
لا يعني فيها شوية صعوبات بس الحمد لله.
Can you ask what's their dream? What is their dream in life?
حلمي بالحياة أكون سعيدة بحياتي.
What's their ages?
مواليد 2005 23.
كم عمرك؟
20.
20.
She has nice eyes.
عيونك حلوة.
بس ما بتحلم من عيونك حلوة.
What's she
There's
saying?
nothing. Your eyes is better.
Shukran hayate.
تحسبي تطلع كذا.
Okay, yalla, before things take a turn for the worst. Okay, sharafna, shukran. So how exactly did Yemen become so turbulent and fragmented? The Houthi movement was initially a religious group called the Believing Youth. Formed in the 1990s in northern Yemen, the Houthis became more radicalized post 9/11, and their slogan is, "God is great, death to America, death to Israel." They began an armed rebellion against the Yemeni government, leading to increased conflict with the government and therefore involving foreign powers, including Saudi Arabia, which responded to Houthi attacks by launching airstrikes and ground operations. Iran reportedly supported the Houthis, fueling a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran in Yemen. The war has resulted in millions displaced and dependent on aid, which does not make the mainstream media. I was tired after a long travel day, but I got invited to a Yemeni wedding, and it was an offer I simply could not refuse. As you can see, it's in the middle of this town in Seiyun, and it's this big tent, usually over 2-3 nights, depending on how wealthy the family is, and they're all dancing in the middle. Let's go inside. I'm going to get a lot of stares when I go in. So the first thing you're going to notice is there is no women. I was expecting there to be women. I was hoping for there to be women, but there's no women. So the men and the women are separated for the whole time, and essentially in some marriages the man won't even know who he's marrying until after. It's kind of like it's like a lottery, but obviously it's arranged marriage. So you ask your mom, you ask your dad to find a suitable wife, and they will go out and do it. What's like the average age to get married for men and women? And for men? Is there love marriage or always arranged? I was very lucky to be invited to a Yemeni wedding on my first day, and I was ready to carry on the road trip. But the Yemeni government requires all tourists to have armed security, so we started day 2 off by getting our security guard, and then we made our way to Wadi Doan, which is known to have the most stunning scenery in all of Yemen. Good morning from day 2 in Yemen. Yalla habibi.
Yalla.
Sabah khair.
Sabah khair.
So it looks like we're having a security guard today. I didn't actually know this was going to happen. I don't know why, but it seems like the area that we're going to apparently needs security. Which is just another reminder of where we are. You know, everything looks peaceful, but behind the cracks, is it? I don't know. So Jamal, how come we've got a security guard today?
We have to take them when we are going to the Wadi at the police tours.
Oh, okay, so it's... he's given us to by the police.
Yeah, it's not optional, it's obligation.
Kalashnikov? What's this?
Well, that's protection.
Ah, okay. Has he used it before? Has he shot at enemy? He shot at the enemy. Recently?
يعني قبل فترة.
لازم تستخدمه قال شهر شهرين.
قصدك انه مشان ما يتعطل.
Yemen is obviously a dry country with no alcohol in sight, so the only real fun activity that a lot of Yemeni people do is chew khat, which is a stimulant plant whose leaves are chewed for their mild euphoric effects. Okay, so this is a bag of khat. This is what a lot of Yemenis people, they like to eat it, and yeah, so it's like 15,000. I've been chewing it for like an hour now, just not a huge amount, but they keep giving me more, and the more I have, the more energetic I feel, and it's making the car journey go a lot quicker, I'll tell you that. كيف حالك؟ الحمد لله. Wasp? Honey. كتير طيب?
The best honey.
The best?
Honey. Honey.
It's gonna, they will sting me?
Yeah.
No.
No stinging? No. Okay, inshallah.
See.
Yeah.
See,
oh wow, there's lots of bees. Bees or wasps? Oh wow.
No, ما عادي. Pure white honey.
Expensive?
صدره.
شوي. Wow.
واجد.
كتير طيب.
طيب. رقم واحد هذا.
Wow.
هذا صدر.
Around 600,000.
Wow, for that. Is he not worried about people stealing the...
يقول لك يعني ما
1000.
ما يحب يجيب يسرق حقهم هذا وشيء.
لا.
No one stealing?
No.
Oh wow.
No.
In UK, that's gone. It's stolen.
في بلادهم هناك لو زي هذا.
Kalashnikov.
كلاشينكوف هذا.
I can hold?
ايش؟
Wow. It looks...
اوكرانيا.
Ukraine?
Made in Ukraine.
Really? I was shocked by how devout the people were to the religion of Islam here, with the whole town gathering every day in the mosque to pray. So I decided to investigate and see what it's like during prayer time. The whole town is here. I'm just going to watch, I'm not going to pray, but it's amazing to watch this. Every time you come, you got to make sure you respect the rules, so obviously just clean myself and I'm going to be quiet. I wanted to see what life was like for the average person, and so we were invited into Mohammed's house to get his perspective. Oh, immediately. It's nice and cool in here. Can you ask him how is life in Yemen? What do you think of the future of Yemen? Do you think it's going to be good or harder for your children? And
I don't know, mate. Inshallah, baby.
what's the hardest thing about living in Yemen right now?
To finance himself to get married, to prepare himself, so that will take him a long time.
Okay. Look at this, it's all made of mud. This is insane. You can see the drainage system. The very rare occasion when it does rain, it just comes and it drains, because the drainage system in this city is so good. It's on a slant, so they never get flooding. Also in Yemen there's a electricity shortage, so there's only around 3 hours of electricity, and then they get 3 hours no electricity. It used to be actually longer, but now they've got 3 hours on, 3 hours off, so that's just one of the many struggles that they go through, which we in the Western world take for granted. You know, electricity, that's just a normal thing. Of course we get 24 hours, but here, you don't take it for granted. I was honestly humbled by the hardship that Yemeni people were going through, and unfortunately with no tourism on the horizon, it seems like things will get worse before they get better. I visited a palace in Wadi Doan to see the incredible history and beauty that Yemen has to offer.
Sharafna. Habibi. So this is the palace of Wadi Doan, Bukshan Palace, and you can tell it's the palace because it's very colourful. Unlike the mud buildings, it's very beautiful. We're going to go inside. So this is Bukshan Palace, owned by Mr. Bukshan, and he used to live here. It's now nobody lives here. He's moved to Saudi. He was a very rich businessman, and he provided a lot for this village. He provided some of the roads, the telecommunications, and also he gave scholarships to students who were studying and wanted to study abroad. So he was a very good man for the area. And now it's uninhabited. You can hear the echo. Hello! So there's another one. He owns this one as well, and a smaller one. You can see it stands out. It's so colourful and beautiful, but unfortunately completely abandoned.
There are lots of divisions within the community, and that causes, you know, like divisions for us, and that's not good. So if we are unified, we are strong. We can get our Yemen back.
Yeah, take back what's yours.
I think I'm going to love this place. I've only just dipped my toes in, but we're in for a treat. However, one thing that is very obvious is the situation that these people are in is absolutely dire, probably the worst out of any country I've been to, and that says something. People are struggling to just buy food and water. People are earning $40 a month for government jobs. They have to have multiple jobs. And the other thing, which is kind of overlooked by me sometimes, is like the situation for women. Obviously, as a man, it's kind of easy to overlook these things, but it's so obvious here. I mean, everywhere you go, there's no women, and I'm wondering, like, where are they? It's because they're stuck at home. They cannot drive. They are circumcised at birth, which means, you know, you guys can guess what that means. One thing I've noticed is the resilience of the people here. So resilient. They have a smile on their face. They don't complain. I have to say a big shout out to my guides so far, Jamal and Abdul. Jamal's a guide, Abdul's the driver. They've been so helpful, specifically like getting me into access to weddings and to getting me access to things behind the scenes that not every tour guide would go out of their way to do. So I'll put the links in the description below for RJ Travels. That's who I booked it through. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.